Happy birthday, dear Balkans calling. Happy birthday to you. Alles Gute!
Ja, heute feiern wir die 12. Folge unserer Podcast-Reihe Balkans Calling, Voices from the Region. Also ein Jahr lang sind wir dabei mit euch zusammen.
Meine Lieblingsfolge, die wir seither aufgenommen haben, ist von Sofia GB, wo sie sich mit den Beziehungen zwischen Republika Srpska und Serbien auseinandersetzt.
My favorite episode is with Daniela Koleva, where she's talking about oral history, which is one of my favorite methods in research. And she's also talking a lot about elderly people, and I'm slowly becoming part of that category.
My favorite podcast episode is the third one that our former co-worker Katalin created. And I think it's really great because it's a personal one and about their home countries.
Meine Lieblingsepisode ist Episode 2 mit Katerina Damcevic, einfach nur, weil sie eine wunderschöne Stimme hat und man kann toll zuhören. Iman, was ist deine Lieblingsfolge?
Relacion e kam drejtuar me Lidjo Halën dhe Elena Gashin, sepse tregon për gjuhën shqipe në Regensburg, në Gjermani, dhe si ajo është shumë interesante.
Moja omiljena epizoda našeg podcasta je bila epizoda broj 5 sa Anemarie Surescu-Marinković, u kojoj se također radi o jezicima, zapravo o više jezičnosti u Srbiji i posebno o jezicima koji nemaju pisani standard.
Harum,
Du,
jeden.
Einmal.
Balkans Calling, Voices from the Region.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Balkans Calling, Voices from the Region. My name is Jonas Eiselt and I'm an assistant with the seeFField project. I'm here today with Dr. Aleksandra Salamurovic, our academic coordinator, and Professor Dr. Ger Duijzings, our project leader of the seeFField project. We want to talk about today our project in general and want to explore your task at seeFField project. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So first of all, I have one question, and it is, can you talk about the origin of the seeFField project? So how was this idea created in the first place?
Yeah, perhaps I can answer this because it was a response of myself and a few colleagues here to a call by the Volkswagen Foundation. The Volkswagen Foundation over a number of years had a funding line which was called Strengthening Small Subjects, which they initiated actually to support, let's say, smaller research areas and study programs, because they are generally, let's say, in a precarious situation. Student numbers are usually not so large, and so they need this kind of extra structural support. Yeah, so that was the Volkswagen Foundation initiative, and we responded to that already once in 2019, but we didn't get it at the time, but we were actually advised to resubmit, and that's what we did in 2021, I think, and we then received a positive decision. Yeah, so it's also at the core what we try to achieve, to strengthen Southeast European studies, which is of course a very small research field, and has also an issue, let's say, in terms of attracting not so many students. Yeah, and so I think it is with so many other similar programs that what is really important for us is also to make Southeast European studies attractive to students, to potential future students. and show them that it actually can be a very interesting field to study, and also for future, let's say, job opportunities. It's really a kind of a valid option. That's I think one of our core objectives. So that's where it all started, and I mean, there's a lot more to say, but I think we will be able to discuss that a bit later. Yes.
One question would be, what are your tasks at the seeFField project, and how does a typical day in your work life look like, for example?
A very interesting question, Jonas.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would say that the essence of my work and all working days at seeFField is communication. So every working day consists of a lot of communication of different sorts. Sometimes I write emails the half a day, or I have to phone to our financial department to clear up some financial issues. But mostly I have this privilege to communicate and to talk to various very interesting people. Some of them are our guests. We have every year for a semester one guest professor from the region. Then we have fellows, postdocs, pre-doc for 6 months as our guests. But I also like very much when we have our team meetings, so myself and all student assistants working in the project, when we talk about our activities and our plans, and when we exchange ideas, and we are creative and we laugh a lot. I like, and once a month we have our steering board meetings, where I also get to know and to learn things new to me. Because, of course, members of the steering board of the seeFField are professors and they are much experienced. And I get to learn a lot from them. And finally, I have to mention that I love working at seeFField also because I have great colleagues from other area studies project situated here at the University of Regensburg, because University of Regensburg is really specific for being a home of a very strong area studies initiative, like Leibniz Campus Europe America, or a graduate school for Eastern and Southeast Europe. So there are several projects regarding different world areas, and all the colleagues working there on the similar positions like mine. So we meet once a month on a manager lunch, and this is really a pleasure to working and communicating with them on a daily basis. Yeah.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And you?
How does the working day of a professor look like? So, I mean, I'm the project leader, but I have, of course, my regular duties like teaching, doing research myself, although that's sometimes really hard, where to find and when to find time for that. Writing is, of course, but, that's not what you're interested in here. So talking about communication, my working day usually starts with knocking on the door of Aleksandra. And so when I come from home, I never do home office really, although I sometimes work at home, but home office is it's not really, I prefer home to be home and not workplace. So I work more or less every day in my office, and every day starts usually with knocking on the door of Aleksandra just to see, is there anything new to tell, new developments, what do we need to do today, is there anything important?
Is the new drama going on?
Yeah, the last gossip.
Important.
and then we have one moment often in the week, and that's the Friday afternoon.
Exactly.
Where we have a little bit longer conversation about how things went during the week. Yeah, so, and I really enjoy that. So, and it's all about communication.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And being creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are really wir sind aufgefordert, sehr kreativ zu sein in diesem Projekt. Nicht, weil das im Antrag steht, sondern weil wir einfach es so haben möchten. Und im Prinzip arbeiten wir über den Antrag hinaus. Das kann ich schon nach 2 Jahren sehr klar sagen. Ja.
Finde ich schön zu hören, wie ihr darüber redet. Vor allem, dass man auch weiß, dass man Kollegen hat, auf die man sich verlassen kann, wo man auch mal eine zweite Meinung vielleicht einholen kann. Würde ich jetzt auch so aus meinem Arbeitleben als SAK nur sagen, dass ich schon immer sehr schätze, wenn man nochmal wen fragen kann, ob gewisse Sachen passen, wie man es ausgearbeitet hat und das einfach ein sehr vertrautes Miteinander ist, finde ich.
Genau, das hast du gut auf den Punkt zusammengefasst und auf den Punkt gebracht. Genau.
Danke, Aleksandra. Yeah, you already talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to ask again, what are the project's goals in general?
Yeah, well, if I may answer, the overall goal of our project is, like we put it on our website, to do research and to teach about the region with the region. Mm-hmm. So that means that the most important thing for us and how we conceptualize area studies and Southeast European studies in particular is that we want to engage more with researchers and people, students, academics from the region itself. So this is really the overall goal, I would say. And then our project is very multi-layered. So people normally, when they hear strengthening Southeast European studies in Regensburg, they normally ask, what does this mean? What are your topics? Mm-hmm. So this is not an usual format for a scientific academic project, I would say. So our project is really specific in that it's very multi-layered. So we have these 4 pillars around which our specific goals are implemented, yeah. But all 4 pillars actually, if I may say, they go to this direction I mentioned earlier, to teach and do research with people from the region. This is really the key premise of our project.
Okay.
If I can just add, I think sometimes what people ask is, so what is the research topic of seeFField? Yeah, so what is the project about? What theme do you have? And then we always have to say we don't have a theme. Yeah, what we do is, what the project does is provide infrastructural support to Southeast European studies. This means that any topic, in principle, goes, as long as it's new, innovative, interesting. And also I think what is quite important is that the support primarily goes to indeed young or scholars from the region. So we have all sorts of funding formats, like the pre-doc fellowships, like the postdoc fellowships, and also the visiting professorships that are basically allowing scholars from the region to be supported by the seeFField project. And so that's what we really how we've implemented this idea of doing research or inquiring about the region with people from the region.
Yeah, you already mentioned the importance of connecting with the region itself. So my next question would be, what does the collaboration with local schools or universities looks like? Are there certain challenges, or maybe you also could learn something from them to improve our project maybe?
Yeah, I can say something about our attempts to, and so how does this look like, this kind of connecting with colleagues in the region. So last year we made a big trip to 6 countries, 10 universities. We decided not to go to the usual suspects, the big centers or the big universities. What we did is we deliberately decided to go to the smaller universities, let's say in cities, not the capital cities, but in other cities, and to just visit scholars at these universities with whom we believed we could collaborate in some way or another. Now, this collaboration, as I already indicated, doesn't mean that we start now sort of designing research projects, but it's more like we create a connection, and over that connection we communicate, for instance, the opportunities that we offer for scholars, for students in the region. And the agreement we have with our partners in the region is that that they basically, when they receive, let's say, a call from us, that they spread that along their own channels, so that lots of people are actually informed about our activities and the opportunities that we offer. And that's in a way, let's say, the basis for the partnership. And we hope, of course, we have been running the project for 2 years, and in the beginning it was lots of work to just set it up with Aleksandra's great investment in this. Also to increase our presence in social media and all of that, about which Aleksandra, I think, can say a lot more. But yeah, so this has meant that we haven't necessarily invested in, let's say, joint research projects, but this could come out of it, in the run, exactly. During the course of the project. So the project is 7 years, duration is 7 years, and we hope that this networking, this creating connections, will then indeed also lead to joint research, for example.
Yeah. It's very important for us to cooperate with people from the region on, on equal, like equals, on this horizontal level. So we don't want to reproduce any hierarchies, in the sense we are coming from Germany and we are like a renowned center for area studies, and now we will show you what we want you to do or what we would like you to do or something like that. No, we just want to hear what are also needs and challenges of those universities, and some of them we have in common, like for instance shrinking student numbers. So and we don't want to promote brain drain, like to invite their students to come to us. We would like also in this sense to cooperate with them and to exchange, for instance, students, to shape teaching content which we can share here and there on universities in the region who are of course interested in such kind of cooperation. Of course, not every university in the region is interested in the same kind of or in the same format of cooperation we can offer. So we listen to them and to their needs, and I would say after 2 years already we have managed to establish a kind of regular exchange, in the sense that they are free to express what they would need or what they would like to do together with us, and we try also to answer to that. Like for instance, just to make it a little bit more concrete, we had this year a joint conference in Niš, at the University of Niš. Niš is our new partner in the project that emerged during this Balkan Road movie called Sea Friends. You probably have seen the movie on our YouTube channel. If not, you can check it out. And Niš is a very interesting university, a very interesting academic spot, and they organized a conference on language, society, and intersectionality. And we were invited to participate, also with an academic input. But this was like this emerged from the cooperation, and this was the need or desire of the University of Niš. We didn't set that as a goal of our cooperation; they did, and we just answered to it. So we are totally open to this kind of exchange between the different universities. And what is more, we want to motivate our partners in our network to cooperate among themselves. We don't have to be involved in every kind of cooperation. They should also establish their own cooperation in the region, within the region. So we would also see that as a big success if we reach that in the next 5 years of our project. Yeah.
So this is sort of this idea of multilateralism. Yeah. So this not that it's only a connection with Regensburg that gets established, but the universities in the region need to start working across, let's say, these quite fixed and strong boundaries that there are, or borders. Yeah. So we would really want to encourage that through the project, and
So what is really a great thing about the project, and I'm not saying that because I'm a coordinator of it, but really from the start, the project, the proposal is conceptualized as we don't see Southeastern Europe as a container, as a geographically fixed area, but as a network. And this is not only a metaphor for us. So we try really to set that thought like in real life, to live by that metaphor. And that's why this goal of establishing cooperations and promoting cooperation between universities in the region themselves. Yeah.
One other little example I can give is the summer school in Albania that is happening now in June, where our Albanian partner from Tirana has actually invited us and a group of students coming from Regensburg to participate in a summer school dealing with very specific problems that exist in Albania, like out-migration, like touristification, like environmental damage due to tourism. So these are local problems, and I'm going with a group of students from Regensburg to participate in this summer school that's organized by our partner in Tirana.
I just wondered, so were the universities surprised when you talked about the project and drove to the universities, or were they happy about it? What was the reaction? Were they surprised or happy?
I would say both.
Yes, exactly. They I think some of them were kind of perhaps unbelieving or skeptical a little bit in the first instance. So why are they coming here? What's behind it? What's the hidden agenda? I mean, we've heard these things being told to us, and but in the end, I think most of them were actually very, very happy that we came, because they felt that we were taking them seriously, and paying them a visit is a sign of an effort that you do to meet people in the region on their own terms, in their own environments, and what we also did put lots of emphasis on is to listen to their problems, their issues. I must say some of the universities really have huge problems. So we had for us it was also very interesting to see the kind of differences between the different universities. And I think at some universities the people that we talked to were quite pessimistic, or didn't see really lots of perspective for their higher education institution. But in other institutions we actually saw a lot of activity, initiative. So it was actually quite a mixed picture. Aleksandra, you observed that as well, I think. Yeah. So, but generally, I think all the people were actually very, very happy that we came.
Well, it's quite unusual to go on a trip for 10 days by car, and that you have 4 people, like 2 professors, myself, and 1 student assistant who was filming all the time. And then, at the beginning, it was maybe quite normal to say, you came to Page from Germany by car. It's not a long distance, it's doable. But after, on the 10th day in Timișoara, the first question was, where did you come from? And we were like, from Plovdiv.
Yeah.
Because day before, we just started in Plovdiv. And I mean, this is in another country. This is like, maybe this was the longest distance.
It was around 900 kilometers that we did.
900 kilometers on one day. And they were like, wow, who does such thing?
Yeah, that's a long distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was quite unusual, but it was also very important for us to learn about them, to see, like mentioned, the differences between the universities, the differences between cities, because these are not usual travel goals, even in academia, for people from Germany, I would say. Normally we all go to the capitals, and now we were in some, I would not say peripheral cities, but we were in Tetovo, for instance, or in Blagoevgrad in Bulgaria. This is quite different than to go to the capital.
Osijek,
Osijek, yeah, Novi Sad, exactly, yeah.
So one of our key aspects of the project is multilingualism. So my question would be, what possibilities or chances does the seeFField project offer for people who are speaking a different language apart from German? Is there any way that they can include their skills maybe and work with us also?
I mean, I would say that how we live multilingualism is by allowing various languages to be used on our website. And so this is not, let's say, for the website as a whole, but we are running a blog. Actually, students are running the blog, the seeFField blog, and at the seeFField blog we have as our policy of multilingualism that every blogs can be published in any of the languages of the region. So this means we have had blog posts in German, of course, English, Croatian, Albanian, Romanian, up till now, I believe. Am I forgetting? And what is very important about this is that, let's say, scholars or young scholars from the region, even students from the region, see, that their language is valued, and it completely takes away this kind of barrier to communicate, because it lowers the threshold. Yeah, so you're not supposed, or you're not required to publish or to write in English or German. You can do it in your own language. Yeah, and we make sure that there is some translation of the core argument in any of the bigger languages or in another relevant language. But I would say, especially at the blog, we practice this. This means that people from the region are actually can have an easy access to publishing in the framework of our project.
Svaki jezik je svet za sebe. Jede Sprache ist eine Welt für sich, und wir möchten einfach möglichst viele Welten repräsentiert bekommen. Jetzt in Bezug auf unsere Region, aber auch darüber hinaus. Insofern ist es schon richtig, was Herr gesagt hat, dass wir vor allem durch den Blog, aber jetzt auch durch den Podcast und hoffentlich noch mehr in der Zukunft die Mehrsprachigkeit fördern möchten. Denn das ist eine sehr wichtige Frage bei Regionalstudien wie Südosteuropa-Studien, wie man mit Sprachkenntnissen umgeht. Es ist essentiell natürlich in diesem Fach Sprachunterricht zu ermöglichen und zu fördern. Und deshalb haben wir besonders in unserem Projekt im Rahmen unseres Schwerpunktes albanische Studien auch ein Lektorat für die albanische Sprache. Aber hier an der Uni Regensburg werden auch andere Sprachen aus der Region gelehrt, und das ist ein Aspekt dessen, was unter Mehrsprachigkeit zu verstehen ist. Und der andere wichtige Aspekt ist auch, dass man versteht, dass man die Forschung über die Region nicht ohne Sprachkenntnisse betreiben kann. Und wir versuchen das auch schon in der Lehre zu vermitteln, aber auch in unserer Projektarbeit. Und deshalb ist es uns sehr wichtig, dass möglichst viele Studierende aus der Region auch sich an unserem Blog beteiligen mit ihren Texten zu verschiedenen Themen, die sie für interessant und relevant finden. Dass sie ihre Texte uns schicken und wir möchten auch noch mehr Sprachen aus der Region eigentlich involvieren.
Dann führt mich das auch zu meiner allerletzten Frage in dieser Podcast-Folge, nämlich inwiefern kreiert das seeFField-Projekt auch Content für Studierende oder auch Dozenten? Also wir haben ja gerade schon ein bisschen über den Blogbeitrag geredet. Ansonsten von Vorträgen, die wir ja natürlich mit dem seeFField-Projekt auch organisieren, gibt es wirklich auch Content hier, der von Studierenden, von Mitarbeitern kreiert wird und der auch für Studenten dann da ist, um sich weiterzubilden vielleicht?
Ja, vielleicht, dass ich hier erwähnen möchte, dass als Teil des Projektes wir natürlich also Kollegen aus der Region einladen, um hier zu lehren. Wir haben auch Lehrveranstaltungen, die angeboten werden von jüngeren Akademiker, die auch aus der Region kommen und dann sagen wir so, über Themen lernen, die wir, also die Kollegen, die wir in Regensburg haben, meistens nicht abdecken. Ja? Das heißt, dass wir Expertise, die es gibt, in der Region eigentlich mobilisieren, um das an unsere Studierenden weiterzugeben.
Genau, also ich meine, ich glaube, Jonas, du könntest diese Frage genauso gut beantworten wie wir.
Möglich.
Dann können wir gleich sehen, was wir eventuell verbessern sollten. Aber ja, also wir bieten zum einen allen Hilfskräften, die bei uns im Projekt mitarbeiten, sich einfach auszuprobieren in verschiedenen Bereichen. Also abgesehen davon, dass unser Blog einfach schon vom Konzept her, vom Antrag her so gestaltet ist, dass das eine studentische Redaktion verlangt. Ja, also da haben wir wirklich kein Sagen. Es sind, ihr seid es, die darüber entscheidet, was da kommt oder halt nicht kommt und nicht veröffentlicht wird. Das ist das eine. Und das andere, oder Podcast-Folgen natürlich, die man dann auch bei Interesse selber produzieren kann, also sowohl technisch als auch inhaltlich dann realisiert. Möchten wir natürlich auch noch Studierende mit involvieren, die aus der Region kommen. Und sei es, dass sie im Blog schreiben oder dass sie uns sonstige Beiträge zur Verfügung stellen oder dass sie, was natürlich schon auch ein bisschen Pläne für die Zukunft sind, dass sie bestimmte Formate der Wissenschaftskommunikation in Zusammenarbeit mit uns entwickeln.
Just one sentence in English still. I think one of the, I mean, this is not content, if you can call it like that. It's more like what you would call transferable skills in English. Yeah? So for students, I think it's really interesting to participate in the project because you have an opportunity to learn certain transferable skills, like doing a podcast or editing a text, running a blog. All of that is usually not included in your studies program. Yeah? But these are skills that can be very important later in life. And it is very good to have it on your CV. So we were actually very eager to include students and give students also the responsibilities that come with activities and tasks like that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was very surprised which tasks you actually learned in the course of this project. So I found it quite interesting to explore these things and learn something new. It was not expected. Let's just say.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, how to run how to say that a recording studio, for instance. You've now done it, you know it.
Yeah, it was hard, but we managed it. Okay, so thank you for your time and for this interesting information about the seeFField project in general. And yeah, this episode will be released before Christmas 24. So let's just say, frohe Feiertage für alle. Und natürlich ein schönes Fest.
Und Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, of course.
Da ja bih želela da poželim svim našim slušateljkama i slušalcima sretnu novu godinu, sretne praznike i da budete zdravi i radosni u nastupajućoj godini. I na moj omiljen jazik od regionot. Na site in posakувам zdrava, mirna nova godina i sekogаш da imate sila da gi ostvarite vašite soništa. Endlich eine Episode über uns!
Check out episode 15 of Geschichtskeller, Communication in Transition. Opportunities and risks of science communication. It explores the challenges and benefits of sharing scientific knowledge in a changing world. Perfect for anyone interested in science and society. Thank you for listening and Happy New Year! Last but not least, over the past 12 months, I, Sarah, have been helping as the AI English-speaking voice. You've probably noticed me. However, since the maximum allowed free hours for using this AI voice is reached, it's time for me to say goodbye.